If you are exhausted and you are tired of spinning your wheels and you're a woman who runs a small business, then I'm talking to you. You're not exhausted because you need to work harder or you need to do more things or you just need to find the right thing that's finally going to work. What we need to get you doing is the right things at the right time for the right reason. So that's what I'm going to give you today. 3 keys that you need to have a fit body and a fit business. Same principles, overlapping arenas. So grab a pen and paper because I'm going to give you a couple of tools to use. And at the end, you're going to have one key actionable that you're going to do right away to get you started into the next level of fitness in your personal life and in your business. So let me lead off with a question here. Have you ever been at the gym and you felt yourself just going through the motions, right? You're just doing some of these, but you really didn't even know why exactly you were doing it, right? That happens in business too. The lie that we believe is that we just have to work harder or we just have to do more. But the truth is that we need to have a clear vision and appropriate goals. Because effort without specific intention is wasteful, and movement without specific direction is exhausting. Good intentions and best efforts themselves will never get you to where you want to be. They're just not enough on their own. But when they work together, then you can create harmony and then you have synergy because you're integrating the necessary parts because they're all important, but they cannot work in isolation. You'll keep feeling like it's a constant fight between what you want to do and what you're actually doing until you take this new perspective. So the first thing that you are going to do, the very first key, is you are going to get a very clear vision and have aligned goals. The goals are incremental. Your vision is the destination where you want to go. The goals will change along the way, but they are what paved the way. So step number 1, key number 1, the very first thing that you need straight out of the gate is you need a clear vision and incremental goals. Practically speaking, you can be incredibly busy and stuck at the exact same time. In the gym, it looks like working really hard, breaking a sweat, being really, really sore, but never losing the weight. In your business, it looks like always running around frantically, super, super busy, but never really seeing that revenue line increase. You don't go to a gym unless you know where you want your workouts to take you. And you cannot expect your employees to understand where you want to go together unless you're able to clearly articulate it, tell them and show them. So there are 2 tools that I'm going to give you to use to help you in both of these. Both arenas, same tool, both arena, personal, professional. Tool number 1, acronym DREAM. This is your framework to outlining your vision. DREAM, D-R-E-A-M, daring. It's gotta require a little bit of courage. Otherwise, you're playing small and we don't do that. So the D in DREAM stands for daring. The R stands for relating. How does where you are going and what you want to do and who you are going with, how do you relate with that? How is it meaningful? Enthusiasm is the E. If you can't get a little enthusiastic, a little fired up about it, a little excited about the challenge, then you're not going to have anything to really latch onto in terms of the vision. Action. This is a big one. The dream requires action always. And the M stands for monitoring. If you don't continuously observe, measure, assess where you are, what you're doing, and where you are getting from that, then you're not doing your part. SMART goals. This is a big concept that many people have heard of. Tried and true acronym, SMART. So once you have your vision, the dream, and it's written down, You need to be able to see it in your mind. You need to be able to say it and help other people see it in their mind. Then you plan out the small incremental goals that get you there. And you're going to use the acronym SMART, S-M-A-R-T. SMART stands for specific. What specifically are you doing? Measurable. You have to be able to put a number to it. That takes all the emotion out of it. Achievable, meaning you're being somewhat realistic. And when I say realistic, I mean it needs to stretch you, but you can't be so delusional that you are trying to go from A to Z without any regard for the letters in between. Achievable. Relevant. First video, we're going. We're not editing this. Relevant. It's got to be something that actually means something to you in your life, right? So relevant goal in terms of fitness might be, I want to be able to do a pull-up because I have to be able to get myself out of the pool. That's very different than I want to be able to squat 550 pounds, but I do no sports. How relevant is it? Okay. Time bound. You have to put a container on it. You have to have a deadline in order for you to actually work towards it. So key number one, have a vision, a clear vision and incremental goals. You need to have this for your personal life and for your business. Write it down and then make a plan of how you're going to move towards it. That way you'll move in the right direction and you'll constantly take action step by step by step to get you there. The second question that I have for you is, how many of you have started a new workout routine or bought a new program and it just didn't work? You wanted to start a new habit and 2 weeks later you quit. What's happening here is that you are operating under the assumption that you can't do it or you just need more discipline. But that's not true. The truth is, and this might hurt a little bit, the truth is that you just don't have a good enough reason yet. The reason is the force behind it. It's the why. Practically speaking, surface level wishes will never get you anywhere. If you've ever said, I wish I could do that, keep wishing. It's not until you say, I want to do that, I'm deciding to do that, and I will do that. That's when things starts to change. The level of your why is equivalent to the level of your willingness to take action and not stop. So the tool that I have for you is a very simple tool called the 7 layers of why. You're just asking yourself why over and over and over again, just like a toddler. If you have a toddler, I don't, but if you have a toddler, you've probably gotten really frustrated at them. But when they ask why persistently, they are seeking to understand. That's what you need to do for yourself. You need to seek to understand, why am I setting out to do whatever it is that I am? Why do I want this? Saying that you want to lose 50 pounds just so you look good, that's not it. That's the surface level reason. We need to go deeper. So in this exercise, the 7 layers of why, you're going to start with asking yourself, what do I want to do and why? And when you answer that, ask again, why? And when you answer that, ask again, why? And when you answer that, ask again, why? Until finally you have a response that evokes some sort of an emotion out of you. When it evokes some sort of an emotion out of you, that's when you know you've got it. When I'm working with clients and I'm doing this exercise with them, I will ask why. Why? Sometimes they get frustrated and sometimes they raise their voice and sometimes they cry. But when we hit it, I know it right away and they do too. So that's the exercise. That's the tool that you're going to do, 7 layers of why. Ask yourself those questions, write it down. Ask yourself why, and it may take more than 7 layers, but ask it until it hits something. You'll know it because you'll feel it. The next question I have for you, leading into the third key for a fit body and a fit business, is how many influencers do you follow? Are you a scroller that you're just constantly looking for your next hit of motivation? How many programs have you got that didn't work? And do you blame the program? What's going on there, right? See, what's going on there is that you are looking to find the thing that's going to work. You're looking for the right person to listen to, the right program. But the problem is, you're not taking ownership. You need to take ownership of what it is that you want and are willing to do, and the honest truth of it all, because that is where your power is. So as long as you are not taking ownership and you are looking outside, you are giving all of your autonomy away, and I don't want that for you. So practically speaking, overloading on information, consuming, right? I heard you shouldn't eat after 7 p.m. I heard you have to have a 30% net profit. Whatever, right? Information on overloading on information, but not actually assimilating it and doing something with it is making you fat. It's making you fat. You might have a whole bunch of knowledge, a whole bunch of stuff that you heard, a whole bunch of great, maybe even factual and truthful and helpful things, but until you're actually applying it and putting it into practice and keeping it inside without actually doing something with it, it is making you fat, it is weighing you down, and it is holding you back. So until you start to build the evidence that you honor your own word, you will always be at the mercy of someone else's. Until you build evidence that you do indeed honor your own word, you will always be at the mercy of someone else's. That's my biggest warning today. So, the way out of that potential pitfall is building self-trust and taking inspired action. People who build their bodies and their training, they don't skip workouts just because they don't feel like working out. They work out regardless of how they feel because they know what their compound efforts is translating to. They're trusting the process regardless of how they feel. They do it because each workout is a building block. They're not relying on another hit of an influencer to go into the gym. They're not waiting for the next, management model to come out. They're doing the simple things consistently and assessing how well they work and doing more of what works well and doing less of what doesn't. The same is true in your personal life and in your professional life. You have to trust. You have to trust that your intelligent efforts will compound and then collect the evidence of how they are compounding into the results that you are looking to get. Intelligent efforts, not haphazard efforts. So, the one tool that's going to help you do this is simply an action result log. You can use a scratch piece of paper, you can use a training log, you can use a professional development tool. I don't care what you use, you can write it on your mirror, but what you're going to do is every time you stick to the plan, you are going to record what you did and the result that you got. And that is building your evidence that you can trust yourself and helping you learn how to pivot as you need to. So you are not jumping ship and you're not a squirrel that's running from one side of the street to the other. When you step, you know which direction you're stepping in, the step that you're taking, and why you're doing it. That builds self-trust. The difference between trusting yourself and trusting other people is that you can't trust other people unless you trust yourself. The difference is that obviously trusting yourself is trusting yourself and trusting other people is trusting other people, but you can't entrust in other people what's needed unless you trust yourself to give it to them. So if you have an employee and you cannot delegate to them, it means you don't trust them, and it's because you don't trust yourself. The same principles apply in your personal life, in your fitness endeavors, and in your professional life and your management and operation endeavors. Trust is really important. We have an intelligent plan that translates into intelligent action, And when we see the results, when we see that this is working, we are more inspired to keep going. Inspiration is always going to be more of an uplifting wind than motivation is. Stop seeking motivation, start seeking self-trust, the evidence of self-trust, and taking inspired action. John Maxwell says that there are 4 seasons when people change. One of those seasons is when they see enough that they're inspired to. So what you are doing here by building your self-trust is you are taking action, assessing those results, and then inspiring yourself to keep going. So 3 key takeaways here for how to build a more fit body and business. 1, know where you are going. Know where you are going. Do nothing else until you have that vision very clear in your mind and you are able to express it outwardly. Because those of you who need to go with you have to be able to see it too. Number 2, you gotta know why it matters. You have to be able to talk about why it matters from down deep. It's gotta come from down deep. You can tell when somebody says a reason why they're doing something and it's surface level. You can tell in the tonality of their voice. You can tell in the urgency of their words. You can tell in their physical body, their posture. You have to know why it matters, and you've got to be able to keep it stored right here. Number 3, you have to trust yourself enough to start. You have to trust yourself enough to start. So the next step, what I want you to do immediately next, either now or set a timer to do it tonight. You're going to set a timer for 10 minutes. We're going to put a container on this exercise. Set a 10-minute timer, and in those 10 minutes, I want you to write down one goal that you have, just one goal, one thing you want to do. I want you to write down one reason why it matters, why it's important. Just one, only one. And then I want you to write down one thing that you will do within the next 24 hours to support you in moving towards that. That's it. Only one. So no more than 10 minutes. One goal that you have. One reason that you want to achieve that goal. And one thing that you will do immediately within the next 24 hours to support you towards that. That's it. That's all you have to do. That's the next immediate step you have to take. Now, if you're ready for more after that and you want to go deeper, that's where I'll invite you to follow along. Let's connect, let's engage, and let's talk about where else you want to go and what you need to do to get there.